So I have the Zenith turntable out of the Zenith Tabletop console. And this little metal, I don't know, decorative piece is falling off of here. It's real loose, so we have to look at that and see if I can put it back down. Looks like it's just glued on top of the rubber. So, I mean, it's kind of scratched up. So I don't know if I'll keep that or not. So anyway, what this is doing is when you go to start, it starts spinning really slowly. Now, I want to show you what I had to do to take this apart. It was a little bit of a chore. Grab my camera here and show you. Sorry, I got my new camera, but I have not yet put a new mount up and got the flash card installed and all that stuff. So anyway, there is the Zenith. I had to remove the bottom. So there's the bottom piece. Had to remove the bottom piece, and then there are a couple of, well, I think there's one clip I had to remove from the bottom of the turntable, and then it had these clips here. Let me get you back up here and show you some other clips. And these were kind of in this position to where you can't pull the turntable out, so I had to get my hand up underneath there and flip those to where I could easily slide it out. So what I don't know, this is hi Ralph, let me guess, you need something from me right now. So here's what happens when I'm filming. And you guys have probably, if you've watched more than one video, here's one of my dogs. His name is Ralph. Ralph is very needy. Don't eat that, Ralph. So he wants to come and hang out with me in the garage, but then the second I start filming, Ralph wants to go whine at the door. So I'm going to have to go take care of Ralph and let him in the house. Otherwise, you're going to hear a dog that's whining. And again, for anybody who's contemplating a cattle dog, if you don't have cattle or a job for them to do, I would recommend against the breed, because they are very high maintenance, and I was dumb enough to adopt 2 of them. So anyway, I'll be back. Ugh, dogs. It's like a top 10 day here. I don't know why he's hanging out. He wants to just go inside and sleep. He can go out in the backyard and sniff and do all dog things he wants to. Got a big backyard for him to play around in. But anyway. So what's going on with this is when I move it to start, and I don't know if I could actually, this is going to net anything by doing this. When I put it to start, the platter spins really slow. It has a really hard time getting started, right? And I can actually feel quite a bit of resistance there. See how it's not spinning freely? And then once it moves into position and it drops, then it spins freely, right? No resistance. So I'm guessing it's probably an issue of dried grease underneath. But what I'm going to have to do is look at this mechanism and figure out exactly what's going on when it's moved to the start position. I can't really do that underneath here. I'm going to have to flip it up on its side and hit start and spin it and just kind of watch to see what's moving. I'm thinking maybe some of this grease is pretty dry, so I'm sure it's an issue of me needing to clean some of this grease off. I just want to figure out where I need to clean it off at and go from there. So anyway, I'm not going to film me flipping this over and moving everything around, but when I do have an idea of something that might be causing it, I'll let you know and then show you what I'm going to do and then come back and test it. So really all I could see in terms of moving parts and pieces, so this is the bottom of the tone arm. Stella, not you now. Jeez. Anyway, so where you see this grease is where it's moving. I mean, which kind of makes sense. So I'm going to clean this grease off, reapply some lithium grease. There is a little bit of grease on the top side of this plate here, can't really see it, but that looks like it's pretty gunky as well. So I'm going to try to do this without disassembling it. So it's going to be a lot of cotton swabs and alcohol and some lithium grease reapplied in some spots, and we'll see if that improves things. So anyway, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to film that because that's kind of boring. I'm just going to come back after it's cleaned up and tell you what I did. All right, so I think I got it working. I have not completely assembled it yet or reassembled it yet, and I certainly have to clean everything off. But I do want to show you that if I go to start now in auto, doesn't slow down anymore. Maybe a little bit, but all I did was I cleaned off all that grease. Oops. I cleaned off all that grease, and let's try it again. And applied some lithium grease, and now it seems to be working. Turn this down. Heaven forbid I play some Miles Davis, right? And Miles Davis seems to get more, I don't know, hits, I guess, through whatever algorithm searches out copyrights than some other music that I've used. So, yeah, let's see. Make sure it goes back at the end. Now, one thing I've noticed, so notice how it goes back to the beginning and then, it goes to the end, like at the end of the record, comes back to the tone arm stand, and then restarts. If this is in this position, it doesn't do that. So I got to see if that's by design or if that's supposed to do that or what the deal is. So anyway, it will stop at the end of the record, but it seems that if this is up, then it wants to restart and just keep replaying records. So anyway, this one I figured out what was going on with the 8-track. So the 8-track works just fine. Let me see if I can change the camera position here, kind of show you what the issue was. There's a switch here that says each 4 continue. What does that mean? Well, what it means is when this is set to this position, or it says each and then 4 and then continue, I don't know. But I think in this position, when it gets to the end of a track, it stops. 4, I haven't tested it. I would assume it will go through all 4 tracks and stop. And continue, it will just keep going through all the tracks. So the first time I tested this was in each. I put a tape in that might have been at the end of a track because it wouldn't make any sound. It wouldn't play anything. Then when I tested it in the first video, had a different 8-track, put it in, it was playing, and then it got to the end of a program, or when I'd hit the program button, it would stop. In either of these, well, I don't know about 4, but in the continue, I'm assuming it's continue, position, when I hit program, it would actually go to the next program and keep playing. Again, I'm not an expert on these. I have no idea if that's the way it's supposed to work. I'm going to maybe see if I can find a manual and see if that's by design. It makes sense that it would be that way, but I don't know for sure. But so anyway, this one is going to go back to the shop. Again, Grapefruit Records, this is their console, and I looked at it a while ago and then kind of deferred jumping into it again, so I can take it back to them and they can hopefully find a new home for it. So again, I'm just going to clean this up, dust it off, kind of, clean up whatever I can on it, polish whatever I can on it. I'm not going to go crazy with fixing some of these little cosmetic issues like that. I could probably put some glue underneath there, but I don't know if it's going to hold it. So anyway, it's probably a 50-year-old piece of gear, so bound to happen. Anyway, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.